Hello YouTube, welcome back to another pickups video. These are my pickups for August. I've been really pacing myself this past month, taking my time, spacing it out a bit more. So I haven't really been doing, obviously I haven't been doing videos, pickup videos every week or whatever, because to be honest, there was just not enough to show in a pickups video per week. So I think I'm probably going to stick to this format. Just simply because you know, I'm trying to save up my money and stuff, so better to leave my pickups videos to sort of like every 3 to 4 weeks, and just show them all off at once. But anyway, moving on. I do have a nice little selection of games here. A lot of great stuff. I've got a lot of top games here. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to start with is an accessory that I bought for the 3DS, simply because it's just something I felt I needed, and I use it a lot, and it makes me want to play the 3DS a hell of a lot more. And that is the these grips. Basically, you hook it up with the 3DS and you just sort of hold it like so, and it just feels a lot more comfortable in the hands. And since I've bought this, I use it a hell of a lot. I've got big hands, so if you've got big hands, I definitely recommend you pick up this grip. It's even got like a sort of a little stand where you can sort of place it on the table. The only bad thing about it though is that it sort of cuts off the stylus, so you can't actually take the stylus out. So you sort of have to take it out beforehand before you sort insert it into the grip. It sort of feels like you're holding a pad, and because it's sort of shaped very much like it has the same sort of shape as a PlayStation 3 pad. It kind of fits nicely in my hand, so, and it kind of makes it obviously a lot thicker, and yeah, it works really well. So I bought this on Amazon. It was £8 delivered. So if you've got big hands and you want to be able to get some long hours out of your 3DS without cramping up, then I definitely recommend you get the hand grip. Okay, moving on. I have one game here. Now this game was not bought in August. This is actually I should have shown this in my last pickups video. I completely forgot to include it. And it's definitely worth including, and it's for the 3DS, and that is Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirrors of Fate. I've only had a chance to play this a little bit. It seems it's pretty good. It's a pretty good Castlevania game. It's sort of like 2.5D side-scrolling action. What's cool about it is you get to play as Simon Belmont. And yeah, so it's kind of a throwback to the original Castlevania games, and I don't really have a solid opinion on this game yet because I haven't really spent too much time with it. I've sort of been playing each game as it comes, and as of late I've been putting all my attention towards Super Mario 3D Land, so all my other 3DS games haven't really had the proper chance yet, but I will get round to this. But really glad to get it. And how much did I pay for this game? I believe I paid it's about £28 delivered. But like I say, this was actually bought back in July, so this is actually a July pickup. Okay, moving on. I'll put this here. Next game I picked up here. This is actually a game I bought out in the wild. Picked this up at my local game shop, and it's a game that I've really wanted to play. Played the demo of it, really enjoyed the demo, and it's from a series that's sort of gone downhill, so I'm hoping this game will sort of go back to its roots, and that is Resident Evil Revelations on the PS3. Played the demo of it, really enjoyed the demo. I was planning to get this on the 3DS, but since there was a console option, generally I prefer console gaming as opposed to handheld, and I felt this would be better served on the console, so I thought to pick it up. Like I said, I did buy this out in the wild. I bought it at my local game shop, and it was £28. So it was pretty much full price. But I'm really happy, and I'm glad. I'm looking forward to giving this game a go, because it does seem to go back to the sort of horror element of Resident Evil. Because I played the demo of Resident Evil 6, didn't really enjoy it. I've got Resident Evil 5, which I've yet to play, although I have played the demo of that. But again, you know, it's just too much action. You know, I want them more horror based. And this definitely looks like it may deliver, so fingers crossed. Next game I've got here is for the DS. This is a game that has been on my radar for a long time, but I've always sort of passed it up. I've seen it in the shops many times, but sort of passed it up. Saw a couple of reviews on it. It looked really good, and I am always looking for some original games on the DS that you know, aren't just, you know, aren't shovelware, but actually do seem to have some genuine innovation, something slightly original. For those of you that have probably seen my my DS collection vid, probably know that I do have a lot of sort of action side-scrollers, platform games, stuff of that nature, but not a lot of games that sort of utilise the stylus, although it is growing. I do have a decent selection now, and I'm sort of continuing that trend with this game. And the game is Ghostrick, Phantom Detective. This is a very cool little game. Essentially what you are is you play the ghost of a guy who was murdered, and you have the ability to possess inanimate objects. So sort of think of it as a puzzle game, and you've got to decide what to possess at what time, because what you possess and control sort of creates a chain reaction that will move you on to the next section. So it's really quite cool. Sometimes you have a time limit. You have to sort of save people sort of indirectly, and it's a really good game. I've given this game about good 45 minutes of play, and it is really good. It is a Capcom game, and yeah, it's fantastic. If you want something a little bit different for the DS, I definitely recommend checking out some footage on YouTube just to see whether it's your type of game. It probably won't be for everyone, but it's definitely a fun game, and yeah, I'm glad I have it for my collection. Moving on, I have a game here for a PS3, and this is a game that I don't plan to play anytime soon. But the reason why I went out and picked it up at full price was simply because of it's a day one edition, and that is Tales of Exilia. This is definitely a series of RPGs that I definitely plan on getting into. I've already got a nice little collection of the Tales of games, but simply because these games tend to, you know, go up in price, or, you know, go out of print quick. So I just always prefer to pick them up on day one. And I have the previous game that was released on the PS3, which was Tales of Grace's F. And I managed to get the day one edition of that. So I, you know, my OCD just wanted to make sure that I got the day one edition of Tales of Exilia. So I'm really looking forward to trying these out, because I have played Tales of Eternia on the PSP, and I do quite enjoy that game. So these are sort of more action RPGs, and they're a lot of fun. So I'm glad to be able to continue to add these ones to the collection. Next game I've got here, this is a game for the PSP. I thought I was done picking up for the PSP, but this is a game that I did not know existed. Up until I saw the Ryan Shan's video. He picked this game up not too long ago, and I found out it was a third-person action game. I'd seen this game in the shops all the time, but I always mistook it as a film, as a movie UMD. But no, it's actually a game, and that is Aliens vs Predator Requiem. And this is a third-person action game where you play as the Predator. Now, I'm a massive fan of the Predator. I absolutely love the movies. Not so much the Alien vs Predator movies, although the second one is cool in terms of the gore and stuff, but I definitely understand why people don't like them. I don't really think they're all that either, but I love the Predator films. I'm a big fan of the Predator character in general. I have the PS2 game Concrete Jungle, so when I found out there was actually a third-person action Predator game for the PSP, I just had to jump on it. It's in very nice nick, although there's like some edge wear just here on the side, which was not mentioned in the description. I bought this on Amazon. It was bought for about £8 delivered. But I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But you know, it's fine. It's otherwise complete. The UMD is in perfect nick. So I'll probably hold out on this until I find a better copy, or I'll just keep it. Who knows? But yeah, very glad to get this one. But I wouldn't have known about it were it not for Ryan. So cheers, Ryan, for bringing this to my attention. Next game I have here is another 3DS game. This actually just arrived this morning. So really glad. I've been meaning to pick this up, but you know, because I've sort of been taking my time with a lot of my games, I haven't really been in a rush to pick up 3DS games because I've got quite a decent bundle already. But this dropped down in price a little bit, so I thought, yeah, I'm definitely going to jump on it. And that is Kid Icarus Uprising. I've yet to play it. Only arrived this morning, so I haven't played it yet. This was £26 delivered from Amazon, and I'm really happy to get this game because it looks fantastic. From what I've seen, from the reviews I've seen of this game, it looks brilliant. I'm going to be curious to see how it plays because I know it has a very unique playing system, as you can't hold the 3DS in your hands. You sort of have to put it on a little table stand which comes with the game. That's why the box is so thick. And I'm going to be curious to see what the AR cards are like. I've never tried out the AR camera on my 3DS yet, so we'll see what that's like as well. So yeah, very happy to get this as well. Next game here is a Super Nintendo game. It's been really difficult, I'll be perfectly honest with you. It's been very hard trying to buy Super Nintendo games. It's very competitive, and the prices on auctions can just go for stupid money. I've lost out on so many auctions just simply because the prices have just gone out of control. It's been very difficult. I have to admit, it's not been enjoyable shopping for Super Nintendo games. But this is definitely a game that I'm happy to get. It was a buy it now, and it was going for a good price, and it's in very nice nick, and it's definitely one that I wanted to add to the collection. I've had it in my sights for a while now. I missed out on a good copy. I was sort of umming and ahhing, and someone else bought it, and there was another condition copy of the game, but it was a little bit off. It was cheaper, but I don't know. It wasn't. I decided to hold out, and this game came to my attention. I just jumped on it immediately, and the game is Excalibur 2097. I'll just show you here, guys. It's in really good nick. It's only like some slight edge wear. It's fully complete. What this game is, it is a action side scroller game. SNEStastic picked this game up not too long ago, and he did a gameplay of this. So check that gameplay out if you haven't. I've yet to play it. I haven't had to try it out yet, but it looks like a great sort of action game. Definitely the sort of games that I'm into. And it was in £25 delivered on eBay. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying this one now because it has been on my radar for a long time, and it's actually quite difficult to come up in a good condition. They don't come up a lot. I had to wait for a good box copy to show up, but I've got it now, so I'm glad to get it. And finally, guys, I have a stack of PlayStation 1 games. These were all pretty much bought throughout the month of August. I didn't realise I was going to get so many PlayStation 1 games. It really was not my intention. It just, a lot of games that I wanted to get for it just sort of showed up, and were going for good prices, so I jumped on them really. I've got some corkers in here, but I think I'll start with the less than great ones. So give me 1 second. Okay. got a proper stack here. So yeah, so the first game I picked up, and this is actually a game that is pretty rare on the PS1. It also came out on the Saturn. I don't know how rare it is on the Saturn, but it is pretty rare on the PlayStation 1. Now, it's important to note that just because I say it's rare doesn't necessarily mean it's expensive. It was not an expensive game at all. It's just one of those games that just doesn't come up on eBay a lot. And I should know, I've looked out for this game for a long time and it rarely comes up. And on the odd occasion it does, it's always not in a very good condition. But it's not an expensive game. And the game is Iron Man Exo Manowar in heavy metal. What this game is, it is a 2D side-scrolling action game. Now, before you guys start going onto eBay and trying to pick this game up, I should let you know, guys, this game is shit. Okay, this is one of those games that I have wanted way back in the day. I remember reading about this game in PlayStation Magazine. You know, for those that are my regular viewers, know I'm big into superheroes. I love that stuff, and this has been one of two games that I've known were bad, but I wanted to add into my collection anyway, simply because of the nostalgic factor, the fact that I wanted this game. This was a game that I believe was published by Acclaim. There was a brief period when Acclaim held the publishing rights to some games, some superhero stuff. They also published X-Men Children of the Atom, and it was a terrible port. But this game, I thought at the time, had been cancelled because it wasn't really reviewed. It was just sort of skipped over. I remember there was a feature on it, and then I was sort of left with the impression that the game had been cancelled during development, and it sort of got a very quiet release. I never saw it in shops, so it was very, very limited. And yeah, like I say, it's a 2D action side-scroller game. You can play as Iron Man, and you can also play as another character called Exo Manowar, which I believe is a character from another comic company. And yeah, it's very much 2.5D, with the characters are sort of 3D polygon models. The game is very generic. I don't recommend this to people. I got it for £5 delivered. But yeah, like I say, it doesn't show up on eBay. It is actually a pretty uncommon game. I will go so far as to say it's pretty rare, but it's not an expensive game. And is it worth your time? Definitely not. This is only for my own curiosity, so yeah, that's that. Next couple of games here are two games that I've wanted to add to my PS1 collection. I had one of them already, but it turned out to be a Dutch copy. And, you know, it wasn't just that the manual and the back of the box was in Dutch. It was also dubbed into Dutch as well, which, even though the game is still perfectly playable, it was not something I wanted to keep hold of. I wanted an English version of the game, and that is Hercules. This is a great 2D, 2.5D action platformer game. Definitely one of two Disney games I wanted to get into my collection. And it's a really solid, fun game. It's got really nice graphics, and I'm really, really happy to get this. This game was, I believe, I paid sort of like £5, £5.50 all in for the game, but the game actually arrived completely shattered during delivery. So I contacted the seller. I showed him the photos, and he very happily agreed to give me a partial refund on the game. So he refunded me £2. So I basically paid £3.50 all in for this game. I replaced the case, no problems at all. But I'm very glad to add this one into the collection. Next game I've got here, this is another Disney game, and it's one that I've wanted to add for a long time, and that is Disney's Tarzan. Again, this is a very cool sort of 2.5D platform game. A lot of fun. Definitely a game that not a lot of people talk about, and if you like Disney games, this is definitely one you should check out, especially if you like games like Klonoa. Definitely check this game out. Next game I've got here, this is one of those games that not a lot of people talks about. It's a pretty obscure title on the PlayStation 1, but it's not an expensive title by any means. But it was a curiosity for me, so I wanted to pick it up, and that is Hard Edge. This is a Sunsoft game. What this game is essentially a Resident Evil clone. It plays very much like old school Resident Evil with the pre-rendered backgrounds and tank controls, except replace the zombies and all that with robots and cyborgs. The main characters are very sort of anime influenced. It's definitely one of those games that it's just like a bit of a curiosity. I wasn't bothered if I didn't. I won it on auction, but I wasn't too bothered if I did or I didn't. Again, I won it for a £5 all in, and it's in great condition. So yeah, glad to get it. This one here is a game that I'm really happy to get. It's a game I wanted to play, but it's also a game that I wanted to get it as a black label. It is very hard to get as a black label. I've been watching it for a long time, just waiting for a black label to come. Now you can buy a platinum copy or a sort of like a greatest hits copy all day long. It's there. It's available